You're watching the Community MMA.
You got Khamzat Chimaev in the news. Gilbert Burns jumping all over him, saying, I took him down. Imagine what Poatan, meaning Alex Pereira, can do. If I was able to knock him down, and considering Pereira's power, his hands must be so heavy. I took him down, and he's still trash talk to those guys. Poatan's hands are huge. His hands are huge. This is what Gilbert Burns was saying in a conversation with Super Lattes. So, you got that, and Gilbert Burns continues. It's not that he lost himself. It's that he couldn't find himself. Things happened too fast for him. 3 fights in, and he was already a star. At first, I really liked him. He would call people out and keep fighting. Then he broke character. He's unwilling to make weight. He causes trouble. I like the guy who called anyone out, who would take any fight. But see, this is not Khamzat's fault. This is the UFC's fault. Because when you rise in the rankings, you got the old heads like Colby Covington, not McGregor, but Colby Covington is not going to fight him. And then it's also the UFC's fault because every time a champion goes down, all of a sudden we have to have a rematch. Why wouldn't they just let Khamzat fight Leon Edwards right now? Make Usman fight someone, beat him, and then, but because he was a champ so long and it went to the 5th round, he gets a rematch, but he got knocked out. These are the things I don't understand when it comes to Khamzat Chimaev. It's not his fault. He did what he's supposed to do. He beat Burns. And quite frankly, going up to middleweight is better for Khamzat. I think it's more of a risk to fight at welterweight now because cutting the weight is why he struggles against Gilbert Burns. Let Gilbert Burns come up to 185 and watch how easy Khamzat manhandles him because he's not going to get tired in the 2nd round. He unleashed himself in the first because of the weight loss to make weight. He's done in the 2nd and did everything he could in the 3rd to get that victory, and he should have got the victory. So, yeah, Gilbert Burns knocked him down, but he knocked down a tired Khamzat Chimaev. Taking nothing away from him, he did it. But that's what it is. Altapa Maktapo says the worst part for me is they still have not given Khamzat a title shot or a big fight. It's so annoying. It is annoying. Because the guy's just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And he's beating everybody. And we're going to see guys like Khamzat maybe not as good in the future kind of fizzle away and never get the title shot because of all these rematches holding up the division. You got a rematch in the welterweight. You're going to probably have a rematch in the middleweight. We had a rematch scheduled in the light heavyweight. We got multiple rematches scheduled in the flyweight. Imagine all those contenders, which really, that's the one that makes sense because there's not really a contender that can face off with Moreno and Figueiredo. They're the 2 dominant, but in every division, it seems like there's rematches now. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get the fact that we have all these rematches. Due list, nothing changing there. Till we get some fights in. Of course, you got Islam versus Alexander, 2 versus 6. Khamzat remains number 1. And if you wonder why we talk about Islam and Khamzat so much, just focus on the dude list. The dude list will tell you everything. We'd love to talk about McGregor if there was something to talk about. We'd love to talk about Covington if there was something to talk about. Number 5, Prohaska, he's out for a year. So the whole dude list top 5 is kind of solidified. Maybe McGregor's got to get moved out in Covington eventually. There's going to be some room. I mean, if Volkanovski wins this, he's got to go way up. Way up. And it would be a shocker. An absolute shocker. Make no mistake about it. Getting back to another topic. Involves Khamzat too, but Andre first said make Shavkat versus Jingliang. Right? Shavkat Rakhmonov losing his fight to Jeff Neal, who pulled out due to injury, supposedly. So Andre saying, put Jingliang in there. I say go for it. I think Shavkat's disappointed because, he's looking to move up up as a contender to the top 5 because you already see what happens to Khamzat. Even when you get there, then it gets tougher because now you're on hold for 8 months. Then they tell you fight one more guy and then you get a title shot. It's like, how long you got to wait? Karabala says Shavkat versus Hamza. That would be sick. Because that's like really like, that's like two champions going at it. Even though they're not the champions yet, because we got all these old hits slowing things down. Someone else weighing in saying they train together now. So that would be highly, highly interesting to me. Hamza versus Shavkat. Jeez. Two powerhouses. But I don't want to see them fight until it's for the title. Shavkat's going to keep coming. And if Hamza waits too long, the welterweight division could be tougher if Shavkat gets the belt. That's going to me, Shavkat's tougher than everyone else in the division. Usman's getting older every day. He may very well reclaim the title like Nunez, but he won't hold on to it for long.